All right. What's good, everybody? We're live. Back at it. How's everybody doing today? How did everybody's day go? Let me know how your day went. What's good, fam? What it do? Gold's moving. We already know. I want to know how everybody's day went. It's Monday night. Markets are open, fresh. Gold's moving, just like it did last week. Really strong, really early. Last week was really strong, really early. This week, really strong, really early as well. So far, I caught one trade today. If you guys are inside the inner circle, we caught a nice signal this morning on gold. New York session. Nice gold buys this morning. Caught it on the pullback after price was breaking above $4,600. And yeah, this was a solid trade. I didn't put all the screenshots here. Where are all the screenshots? Let's see. This is a solid move. Called it out of New York in the VIP group. If you're in the inner circle, I didn't call this in the public chat, but it's similar to trades that I've called out before. If you guys have seen me call out trades, I mean, those of you guys that are in the inner circle, this setup was very similar to setups that we've taken before. That was a good trade. Waited for New York session, found the buy, market played out. We caught that pump this morning right before this thing went up back above $4,600. And yeah, that thing ended up moving strong. I had a good result this week, like on one account. Just in the last day since yesterday, I put $1,700 in this account. I'm already up $4,900 right now, almost $5,000 on $1,700. So like, these are the types of results I aim for on my trades after how long I've been trading. I've been trading for over 10 years. So this is on one account. I made a good amount today. Made like over $8,000 on gold. Well, on one account, a small one, really small account, I'd say $1,700. These are the types of results that I aim for, even on one trade, one day. I mean, I did this in one day. And if you're asking how, it's like, I mean, look how gold moved since the market opened. You might be like, how did you do it? I mean, one thing, the simplest answer is like, okay, look how gold moved, first of all. First of all, look how gold moved. So, like, this result could have been more. Like, it's like, it is what it is. Perspective for you, it's like, all right, could have been better. It was an all right day. That's what trading does. Trading, like, changes your perspective. You make $4,500 in a day and you're just like, all right, could have been better. But yeah, like gold moved today. We caught a good move this morning. Great signal. Great move. This thing pumped. Mega pump. Gave us a solid move. And this is where we caught the buys in the morning. Simple setup, like going with the trend, going with the momentum, timing, trending structure, right? This is the types of trades I often talk about with gold. And even last week, I gave you guys a signal pretty much exactly like this trade, like similar. There's a few signals that I sent out actually that were pretty much like similar to like this type of trade setup. Going with the trend, like the market is bullish in structure, so was looking to see if that held this morning, and it did. For the time of the trade, like that's all you need really for the time of the trade. But yeah, we caught gold right here on this candle, pretty much the last move it made up. And you know, the market was clear at that point, like clear for me. Like I was like, this looks like a good trade, I'm gonna go for it. That was the first trade I sent out this week. And this thing ended up ripping. Now, this is where I was. This is literally where I was in the trade this morning. So for me, it was like, okay, let's see if it holds this. This low was here, but I was entering higher up. Right, my entry zone was here and here. Right, so it was really just trusting structure, trying to see, like, I really wanted to see if the market was going to get back above $4,600 because we broke 4,600. And yeah, you could see like a resistance there. Price was underneath 4,600, so I was like, this is one of those moments where I was looking to see if it was going to reclaim 4,600, and it did. That was literally the trade we caught this morning. Timing was good. All targets were hit, and then it kept going up a little bit after. I mean, for the time, it worked out. Like, it was really high. I was debating on sending it. I sent it to, if you're like, price was really high up, so it was obviously like a high signal to be buying. But if you're in the inner circle, you got that signal today. That was in here. Yeah, kind of a high area to be buying. After that, I was not going to look for another trade. I think for the timing, the market gave enough movement. Yeah, look at gold right now. Gold's actually pushing back up pretty much to like 4,600. We might just go up all week. Price might just continue all week to the upside. Like, we're really bullish on gold still overall. Yeah, that was today's signal. Pretty simple, like nothing crazy. Just price action structure. So structure, trend. And looking for buys in this market climate with gold. I'm just trying to look for those buy setups at the right times. Not trying to be forceful with anything. So this was, this trade I showed it in here. I would say it was the right time, but even like down here, you can see like price went up, made a low, shifted up. So there might have been some opportunities in there. There's like a break and retest right there. You can see on like the 30-minute. So I pretty much got that like last setup, like maybe here. If you look at the 30-minute, that area, price got above. Like I was monitoring price, it got above $4,600, and I was like, all right, we're definitely gonna pull back to $4,600. It came back underneath quickly, so I just waited, and I was like, all right, let's see how low this can go. It went a bit lower than I anticipated, but overall the setup still held. Stop loss, like it might seem like a big stop. So look where I put my stop loss for this trade, for example. Where's the signal? Stop loss was at 81. I always put my stop loss, because I know the way gold moves. I always put my stop loss in a place where I know even if I go in a bit of drawdown. That's why I like to use entry zones. Like I like to enter in zones, areas, and I like to keep my stop loss outside the area. Like I don't just use a certain amount of pips. Usually it's around the same size, but like if my stop loss was at like where I was like determining like, yo, this trade will be wrong if we go here at the previous low. And it's like sometimes you might get picky, like you enter here, my stop loss is at that low, right? I'm entering in that area, and as a trader you might get picky sometimes with your stop loss, like where you put it. In a situation like this, most traders might get stopped out early. You might get stopped out early. Maybe you're doing too small of a stop loss. Maybe you're doing like 50 pips, 100 pips. For me, like when it comes to stop loss location, like I'll put it in a spot where, I know it should go like based on rules. If we're looking at rules of trading, it's like, okay, my stop loss should go here. So that's where I put the risk. I'm like, all right. I'm like, it shouldn't go there, right? In the sense, of where that is. Yo, those of you guys in the inner circle, you got that trade. That was a fire trade, and then it even started to accumulate. Like, I was watching it in real time. It literally started to accumulate here on the 1 minute. So we got that today. One of those just trend continuation setups. I think New York's going to be a key time this week. New York session's probably going to be like a key time this week. The reason I say that, and I've been telling you guys, stream should be good. So that was a fire signal. Like, if you were in the trade, because we went in a drawdown. Like, I know if anybody was in that trade, I know you guys were sweating. Like, that was one of those trades that's like, yo, it came, like, it was going down. I'll admit, it was a little spicy. New York's fast, volatility. If anyone was in that trade, we literally entered as price was making an accumulation phase. It's crazy to look after, because this candle dumps. That's basically like the manipulation candle. And then from there, this thing starts reversing. New York window, New York, like right in New York session, going like right before 9:30, like right before the stock market opened up. One of those trades that if you were watching it, if you were in it, I know there's probably a handful of you guys in the chat right now that were in this trade. I know if you were in this trade, it was a spicy one. Like realistically, like pullbacks in this market climate, it's like pullbacks. I think I wrote something like that in Telegram last night. I want to see exactly what I said here. I wrote something. I wrote like here, what matters right now. Market structure remains bullish. Pullbacks are being bought aggressively. All right, pullbacks. So pullbacks in this type of market condition, because there's demand. There's demand for gold. Like, there's demand in the market, and silver you can see. So pullbacks are often being bought in aggressively, like whatever time frame you're really looking at. So I mean, like right now it's like looking for maybe like the 4-hour just started pulling back. Someone asked if it's gonna go to 46 or 4,500. Like, yeah, 4,600 might make some rejection. I think now it's waiting for the 4-hour to really pull back, and maybe using New York session this week. I'll show you why I say New York session in 2 minutes here. If you're trading up here, like, it's like, okay, you could trade up here, right? You could try to see if price holds this area, which is like 75, almost 75, 80, kind of here at the low, 75, let's say, at the lowest. Like, there's a price area here that could maintain if we're just gonna keep getting like more early strength continuation. Ideally, like you want to maybe see if price could pull back to like here first, right? That's still an option for this week, for the week ahead. It looks like if price is gonna hold up here, something in here, like when you break it down even to smaller time frames, there might be rejection in this area. 45.75, like that's the low here. Maybe we make some support or a pattern, and we end up holding that. That would be like in the short term, but personally, like, no, I'm not looking for sells. Like, honestly, sells in this market, like, look where gold has gotten to. And that's why I've spent the last few months only looking for buys, because there is a trend there, obviously. And yeah, you could obviously anticipate, like, things can happen. Like, look at gold. November, it dropped like this. What did it do? Reversed. If you look, like, a lot of people freaked out, and if you go back to the streams, like, if you go back to the streams when we were here on December 29th, now if you go back to December 29th and then the streams after that, December 30th, 31st, we talked all about this drop. Right? I related it to this drop, if any of you guys remember. You should go watch December 31st or December 29th and 31st, all those streams if you didn't see them. Because, like, if you go back to those streams, you're going to see everything I was talking about. You're going to look at price right now and be like, damn, all right, fuck. Because during the holidays, I didn't stop streaming. I was saying, like, during the holidays, I didn't stop streaming because I wanted to keep an eye on gold. We were talking about that drop. Like, a lot of people freaked out when gold dropped. And I was saying, okay, guys, we've had a drop like this before in November. Right? And November ended up reversing and creating a trend. It's like when gold had that huge drop, everyone was freaking out for the most part. And I think, like, every stream from, like, the end of November up until, like, January, I was talking about a lot of the same stuff. But, yo, we talked about, like, how drops like this are normal. Like, this one. We related it to this one. So, obviously, like, drops like that can happen. I think maybe we get more of, like, a drop like this, like a pullback, like a retracement, a correction in the market. Not as big as that. Someone asked if it comes down to 4,500. I don't know about 4,500 anymore. Maybe a bit higher. We could still see, like, 45. Probably going to come down to 45.50 potentially. But yeah, this market condition, like, you'll catch good entries probably New York session, if anything. If you guys have paid attention to New York session the last 6 days, it's been easy buys. New York session every day. Every day since last week, New York has just been buys at 8:30. It's like New York session is like a key time to even watch price. Like, today was a buy in New York session. We caught buys. And since it's early on in the week, the market will possibly give you entries in New York, like, kind of like today. It's early on in the week, so it's like those entries don't have to be like swing trades. They might just be good for the time being, like today's entry. We didn't buy at 8:30, but you could see, like, in New York, there's been some buys, some sells as well after. Like, today there was a sell after, but generally some bullish movement. Like, since last Monday, every New York session, early hours, like 8:30 to 10 o'clock, bullish. At least some movement in there. And then towards the end of last week, it went longer. But if you looked at price this week, since last week, I told you guys this. I've spoke about this multiple times already. So, like, key time, like, knowing how time can play a role with when you enter things, because it's not like you always know where price is gonna be at that time. Like, New York session is like 12 hours from now. So if you look at New York every day last week, you see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's last week. And, like, not exact at the exact same time, but maybe around the same time area. Early New York hours. So 6 days in a row, because including today, You can see early hours bullish, but obviously then reverses down, retraces down. So if I'm planning for entries, it's timing is key. Like, it's not always about just rushing into price, finding a setup, trying to enter. Like, if I want a specific movement, you know, there's always a time to wait for it too. Like, there's always potentially something ahead. So it's like, depending on where gold is, it's like, okay, right now gold is where it's at, but depending on where it is 12 hours from now, or how it's traded since then up until that point. So yeah, New York's been bullish. That's why I like gold. Patterns like this, behavior like this. So it might be like, it looks like early New York, like when there's a trend. This happened back in August and September. So like when we go back to August and September, gold was very bullish. And it started at the end of August, going closer to when they were going to cut the interest rates in September. If you go study end of August all the way to October, you'll see majority of the New York sessions had buy setups. You go study the end of August all the way until October, maybe even further than that, maybe up until end of October. There's a lot of buy setups. So this right here is pretty much where the trend really started. And once that trend started, something we started to catch on to was that a lot of New York sessions were bullish. So this is August 22nd here. You can see how bullish New York was early on. Gold went in an uptrend, and you're going to see a lot of New York sessions after this also very bullish. Some may be more, some may be less. Like this one, not really that bullish, right? We could kind of count that one, maybe not. But as you go forward and you keep climbing up in this trend, you're going to spot multiple days where you see just an increase in New York as this goes up, and it gradually increases. So there's a trend here, there's a pattern, there's a behavior, there's like a routine going on, right? Structure's holding. You can see here, some days more, some days less, obviously. Some of the days that it might be more are like Fridays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. Like that's a Friday, that's a Monday, so that makes sense why maybe not as much volume. That's a Tuesday, that's a Wednesday. Okay, Thursday and Friday are bigger moves. And you can obviously see the Monday there, not so much. The Tuesday, really big, right? And even here at the top here, before it ends up reversing, you can see early on bullish, but then it dumps. Some days, not every day. Like I wouldn't say every single day, but the more you go. Like obviously here, no, not every day. You can see here was bearish, down. You can see here just kind of consolidated. Here pushed up. There's a lot of days as like the trend escalates where it's like you get bullish New York. Like here you get buys. And like, I mean, you gotta understand, it looks really small, but some of these are like $20 moves. Then you obviously have bigger moves. And these days, not. The market was retracing. It was actually more bearish New York those days. Like you see like 3 days where New York was bearish. So a lot, like throughout that trending period from August, and like the gold was on a long trend. There was a stage like over here where we caught on to this. If you're in the inner circle, or maybe the YouTube streams as well, like whenever I was streaming, I was talking about this as it was going on. That's where we kept a lot of our directional biases, was in New York sessions when price was going up. Like we kept bullish with New York. It was like, okay, let's see if New York continues bullish today. Let's see if New York has another bullish day, because there's multi-weeks where this would happen, right? It wouldn't happen every single day, obviously, but a lot more than not to start to notice it, like to start to really notice it and be able to actually trade it. Anyone who has access to those sessions, like that was back in like end of August all the way through September to October. I remember those streams, those time period, right, where majority New York sessions were pretty much bullish all throughout that trend, right? So when you're looking at gold, as it starts to really move, like you might start to notice some repetition with even days, like days where it's back-to-back bullish movements at the same time, or even bearish, like it could be vice versa. I'm really good at, in this trend and the way gold's been trading, I'm really good at spotting like the bullish moves. But even just like I said, for example, like the last 6 days, you might have a week like this that's just very repetitive. Last 6 days, New York has pretty much just been buys. I mean, does it keep continuing like that? Maybe, but like I'm not saying it has to do it tomorrow, but it's a key thing with timing. Like if you're looking for a buy, it could present that at a later time. Like, okay, we could look for a buy tonight on gold. We could still know there could be a buy at a later time, like another setup at a later time. I think gold's, what's silver at? Gold's like the most interesting market right now, to me. Crypto, gold's, I wish crypto was moving how gold is moving. There's one coin that is. So we're above, like, what's the futures price of gold at? It's kind of just testing $4,600. Just testing it a bit. Will we find a trade tonight? Yeah, we could look for a trade tonight. There's always like it's like if I'm taking so like 1 to 2 trades per day max. I like to look for setups. So it's like if I'm taking 1 trade a day, I have to look for a setup, right? A good trade setup. Now, let's say I found my trade setup. For me, it's like my risk is like around the setup. How many times will I trade that setup to maximum? You know, what if I have a really good trade setup and I get in early, or you know, my stop loss is too small or something, like, or I just lose, right? Maybe I lose. So it depends on. Sometimes the setup still there? Like, okay, did I get in early? Was I chasing price? Is the setup still there? So I may like take the same setup more than once, and then it's like, okay, if that loses, so basically it's like for me 1 to 2 setups a day. Could be 1 to 2 setups, like different trade setups. They could be at different times, especially with gold. Like you have Tokyo session, London session, New York session. So I could find a setup late night, like maybe Tokyo session before London session. It could be, like, I'm gonna find a trade maybe before a session. Like, for example, like today, I had a trade in New York session. So that was a trade during New York session. If I was to find another trade, it would have had to be before New York session, because that was this trade setup. So that was one setup. So if the setup loses, it's like, okay, let's see how it loses. Okay, like if this trade lost for like this one today, I probably wouldn't have taken another trade. I probably would have just left it at, okay, I'm going to leave it at a losing trade and not look for another one. So some setups, what could that look like? Okay, let's say I have something like this. And let's say I'm taking a buy on these candles. I'm taking a buy, I'm getting, or a sell. It could be vice versa. I'm taking a trade. In this case, I'm taking a buy, let's say. And I enter here at this candle and the market goes down and I close my trade. Or I take a loss, right? I close the trade because the market comes down. But shortly after, it looks like this. Like the same setup is still there. This is kind of like an example. As you can see this wick where I'm circling. The market came all the way down there. So if it's something like this, a trade setup that, okay, I lose or I enter in early or maybe I close it, but maybe I close it because I think I'm wrong and I'm like, all right, the market's invalidating me, it does, you know. But then it recovers, it reclaims the zone. If I hit a stop loss or I lose a trade or I close a trade and shortly after the market comes back to my zone, reclaims the zone, I may attempt that same setup one more time. So it's kind of knowing your risk boundaries with that too, because you don't always have to take the same setup. So for me, it's about setups, because I might see something, let's say a couple hours from now, maybe in Tokyo session, late Tokyo session, maybe before London session, I see a setup. Or I could see a setup tonight, and I could maybe see a setup in New York session. Because like the trade that I sent today, I didn't know I was going to see that setup during New York session. Not every setup you can spot, or not every trade setup you see with gold is going to be something you're always going to predict 10 hours before or 5 hours before. Especially when you're day trading it with the way we look at gold. Like that trade I took this morning, I only really knew I was going to take that trade when the market was up here, right? So I only really knew I was going to go for that buy when the market was actually breaking up. So at certain times you might be able to spot a setup or see a certain setup. So like most traders will say 1 to 2 trades a day. So you take 1 to 2 trades a day. That could be 2, maybe based on the same setup. Maybe you're taking 2. Maybe you take a trade and it loses. It's like, okay, let me see if the setup holds again. Or it's an entirely different setup at a different time. So the key is kind of using your sessions as like windows for your trades. It's like, okay, let's see if London session I can find a trade. If not, there's another time. So you have to wait for your sessions, because if you find one trade in London, your next trade's not there until New York or the next day. You could take, I mean, I'll usually look at setups, not always just like, and I might trade the same setup more than once. Like this would be an example of that. If I lose a trade, but then it's like the market comes back in my zone and it starts rejecting it and it looks perfect again. You go through those realizations as a trader. As you do your analysis, as you take trades, right? You go through those realizations of seeing the market do things in real time, where you enter a position, it goes against you, and maybe you start freaking out or you take a loss and you're like, oh my gosh, but then the market comes back to your zone. These types of things actually can happen a lot with gold. So that's first of all why I like. So if you guys have noticed on the signals I send, people always ask this question. Never find it. Give me a minute. This is why I use entry zones. So everyone always asks about the zones, the areas, the multiple trades that you see me taking, right? If I can find that. Where did I write it? Give me a minute. Bear with me here. If I can find it. Might not be able to find it. Yeah, see, I like to enter in areas, zones. And then I like to keep my stop loss, my risk outside the zone. Because gold is pretty volatile. And you can spot good setups, good areas to enter in. And you can use price to work off of that to create those areas. Pretty much like making support and resistance zones, but using price. So the reason I do this and add a bunch of entries is to spread, pretty much like spread my zone out, like capture more price, improve my average entry, pick up more pips on deeper fills. If there's any questions, let me know in the chat. Gold gonna keep going up now? Maybe. I'm not in any trades right now. No. I sent one signal this week so far. That one smashed. Like, I'm casually calling out 200 pip trades, guys. Like, literally, I called out this zone. I'm casually calling out 200 pip trades like nothing. Y'all gotta get with the program, man. Get the energy up. I'm literally calling out 200 pips trades like nothing. Now, for now, right now, is it going to go up? Right now, maybe not exactly right now. But I think we're still in an uptrend. Like, we're way above $4,500 now. It's just trying to follow the trend, trying to look for buy setups. We go over, like, I break down all my trades for you guys pretty much every day when I come on stream, or every week, the signals and everything. At this point, it's just trying to follow the trend and look for buy setups, spot buy setups. Remember what I just said a few minutes ago? The trade I set this morning, I had to spot it. I had to identify it. I had to see it. We're not always sitting here future predicting price with arrows and stuff, marking up arrows, doing analysis. That's like more analysis. Like, you could be good at analysis, predicting and forecasting stuff. When it comes down to actual trading, you got to be able to identify things, spot things, and that can just be in moments. So that's why the goal in trading, and the key in trading, is just consistency and showing up. Showing up, seeing what's there, spreading yourself out. I try to spread out my time in different areas of the day, right? I don't just sit on the charts straight for a few hours, one session. I might spread that few hours out in different sessions, right? Like right now, I'm on the charts, kind of scanning some things. Later on, I'm going to do the same thing. And then New York session tomorrow. I try to spread out some time in different sessions to get different views, to get different structures, to see different volume, right? To see different candle behavior. Instead of just always, okay, I just have to look at this time. So I try to spread out my time around the key sessions. Obviously, like, I'm full time, I can do that. But if I'm spending 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day on the chart, I might spend 1 hour right now. And then in a couple hours from now, I might spend another hour or two. All right, and then tomorrow, a New York session, I'll put an hour. Like, I like to spread out the time in different sessions. Like, a lot of times, good setups, I'll say some of the best trade setups that I send out and that we hit are usually just things that I see in the moment. A lot of times. Like this morning's, that's like, it literally just, it was in the moment. Like, yo, this is here right now. Let's see if this trade hits. Gold buys right now. I would say right now, I'm going to chill tonight and wait. Maybe for London session. There's probably going to be a buy setup, guys. Guys, you guys don't got to ask me if it's a buy or not. If it was a buy, I would let you guys know. Don't worry. If there was a clear buy right now, I would tell you guys. All right? I'd be like, guys, look, we got this right now. I wouldn't just sit here, right? I'm answering questions, doing analysis. Guys, if there was a buy, I would either drop a signal. If you're in the VIP group, those of you guys in the VIP group, or maybe in the public chat, like I've been dropping some signals in there as well. So if there's a trade, guys, I always say patience is key. And everything that I've been saying the last few minutes, like, we don't forecast things, and we don't sit here and forecast and predict things all the time. We literally just identify, we spot what's there, we look for our strategy. Right now, if anything, price might go down a bit. Like, I want to see if there can be a bigger pullback. Like, pullbacks are being aggressively bought in. So I want to see like a clean pullback, and it might just take time. Like, obviously we're getting this pullback right now in the 4-hour first one. So I want to see how this pullback goes. Like, so far we're getting a pullback. We have like this area, right? So I want to watch price. Like, I don't just jump into things. There's time. So I was just trying to show you guys with New York session. Literally, like, last week, 5 days in a row, like you might always be thinking like you're gonna miss out on something, but last week, like, I just showed you an example of like you're not gonna miss out on things if you're patient, right? Like last week, for example, New York session was buys every day, so it's like even those like entries, like imagine if you were catching buys and you're trying to go for 500 pips. Those entries are good for those times, right? You would have had to consistently keep showing up. Like, even if you were buying every day at New York and you're going for hundreds of pips, you would have had to be patient to either hold those trades, right? You would have had to be consistent in showing up to get the entries, whatever entry you got, right? New York session had buys every day last week. You would have had to keep showing up to get the swing, right? If you feel like you're going to miss out on that swing trade, you're not. Like, you're going to miss out on it if you're not consistent, though. Like, look at last week, for example. Wherever you bought, if you bought here, you still would have had to hold it for so long. Even if you bought here, you probably would have got stopped out. Bought here, you probably would have got stopped out. Then like here, you know. So for the time, like, there was good entries. So it's really about, like, if you're timing things, it's about timing the entry, seeing how the entry works for that time. They could turn into swings. And even today, like, today's entry was good for the time being. Not like it had to be hundreds of pips. So timing can give you good entry positions, right? Like locating yourself in a good entry, positioning yourself in a good entry, trying to time things. Who knows where we're going to be New York session tomorrow? We might be lower, right? Possibly. That is a possibility. Price could be maybe lower in New York session tomorrow. Still like 12 hours from now. 11 or like, yeah, like still like a bit over 12 hours from now. It's like, this is where you could look for like, if you're looking for a trade, it's where you could look for multiple zones as well. I mean, I really would like to see if price could pull back to like 45.50, maybe even 45.60, like that previous resistance that we broke out of, which was the all-time high. I would like to see if price could pull back closer to there. And it being only Monday, it's only Monday that could happen. Well, it's Monday night, Tuesday, technically, but like, I would really like to see if we could get back to that high, closer to it at least, which is around 45.50. So $50 level, right around that 45.50. That's what I would like to see. I think there's a better trading opportunity around there. So it's like you're either just waiting, like, it's patience is a strategy in the market, by the way. Patience is a position. Like, having patience is a good position overall in the market. It's a strategy, patience. So it's either just being as patient as you can, waiting for the best entry, waiting for the best setups, trying to spot the best setups. You're not always going to see setups every minute you're on the chart. There could possibly be a setup maybe around there, or like these candles are holding right now, so they are kind of interesting. Like, the market does have some support here where I just marked. I don't know when there'll be a trade. Like, I don't determine that. No, no. Like, I don't determine the time. I'm always like signals. I don't know when I'm gonna send a signal. I don't have like a crystal ball like that. Some nights I can get a feeling. Some nights I can look at the chart and be like, "Yo, we might have a signal coming because of what's happening." No, I don't always like I just said. It's not. I'm not always future predicting things of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take it exactly at this time. No, like I said, I spread myself out multiple times. Like with my hours, the time I spend every day on the chart, I spread it out. So I'm able to see enough setups if there is one there. Do I spot setups every time I'm on the chart? No. Do I miss trades? Yes. Do I miss setups that I see? Yes. It's all normal. It's a part of the game. So, no, I don't, like when I send signals, that's the market's time. The market doesn't always arrive on your time, your schedule. So it just really depends on the market, guys. For those asking, it just depends on the market. Yeah, it's a little bit of insider information, but that's fine and all. I didn't slam it down today. Yeah, I did slam down, I know. I mean, yeah, New York didn't like it did dump here on this candle, and then should I close like, it's like if you see a zone, if you see a price zone, because again there is trend right now, like if you see a price zone, like I was explaining last night on the inner circle stream, when price is high like this, you can even look for two areas. Like the market might not come back down to here. So like it depends on why you're taking that trade. Like should you close? It depends on why you're taking the trade, because if you see a zone, like this zone could potentially hold. But you have to always have anticipation for like that deeper correction or that next zone. Like if I'm taking trades up here tonight, I have in the back of my mind that, okay, it could come to the next zone, which is really where I want it. Where I would actually really want it to go, obviously, would be like the lower zone, the lower area. It doesn't mean I can't see something that's above that, right? But I have to have that risk in mind if I want this trade setup down here. Obviously, that's just where patience comes into play. Because I said this last night. Last night, where did I say this? Last night I said this when the market was here. And if you go watch that stream, the zone that I drew was perfect. Because last night we were here, and I was saying we want this to come down so we can buy. And I was saying, but this is a situation where you could maybe look for an alternate zone. It might not come back down to where we want it. So it depends on like why you're in the buys, where you're in the buys, like why you're in the buys. Because maybe you have a good zone. Maybe you might have a good zone. I don't know what you're looking at. I see an area here that might make some support if the market flips. But whenever I'm in a high situation like this and I see a high zone, because obviously it's a high up price right now, I'll have that anticipation that it could come lower. There's always anticipation for that. Let's see, like would I close it? I mean, depends why you took the trade. Like it might, like gold is strong right now. You really have like if it breaks, because like I might be looking for a trade soon, or maybe in the next hours, like this area maybe to hold, right, with where it's at here. We have this low here, so I'm like, I don't know where you're in your trade, but it's like, I understand the market might make a bounce from here. Yes, it could go lower. Could still go lower, but it could still maybe bounce from this area. You have this area here. I'm on the 2 hour right now. I could try to bounce, hold this area. But then if this area doesn't hold, it's like we're trying to go down to the next area. I'm personally like any buy setups I see that like look good, I'll be going for probably like the rest of the month, probably even all of February. There was a good break and retest there last night. Price is retesting that zone right there. It's like, to me, if you're in buys, there's 45.75 right there. So like this zone, it's really like the last structure point. Like, otherwise it's like everything else is lower. Like this candlestick here, this engulfing candle, I could try to reach for that more. Or the previous resistance, like I was already saying over here. So like if you're at buys, I think some people in the chat said, I saw something there real quick when I looked at the chat. Like you really want the market to hold this, right? This low, right? It's really testing this low here. Potentially it could, like I could maybe see a buy setting up in there. But if it doesn't, like you have to be prepared, like for where this market could potentially go this high. It could potentially come all the way down here. Let's see what we got tonight. Tonight, I'll be on the charts. I could have got two, like I was trying to send a signal over here last night. It just didn't come low enough. I wanted to send like 45, 60, 40, like it just didn't come low enough. There was a signal I wanted to send here. I want to send 2 trades. Yeah, like gold is in an area like where we could get a bounce. Like look at structure. Structure is testing like that low right now. So this low might hold. This low, potentially this low could hold. Potentially. By the dips, silver's dropping. Silver's testing an area too. If they break down, they're gonna, just go for a deeper retracement, find lower prices. I'm still bullish on gold overall. Like overall, I know it's high, all-time highs, sketchy area to be trading. So I try to time your setups, like trade around key times and look for good entries, good low entries, big pullbacks. Keep an eye on this market. So the thing about, the market right now, and before this year started, where was it? I made a video 6 months ago, smartest way to trade gold in 2025. All right. I think I even made one sort of at the beginning of the year that was similar to that. How was that one? So I made this video 6 months ago, trade gold in 2025, the smartest way to trade gold, XAU in 2025. I said in that video, trading is going to be, different now. Like there's more volatility. These markets are going to be way more volatile. Like I said in this video and another one, there's 2 videos where I say the same thing on my YouTube, where I'm talking about President Trump and what that means to the markets. Volatility, right? Volatility. Under this administration, we've seen so much volatility. And in this video, I said, if you're trading in 2025, like it's 2024, 2023, you're already far behind. Like I think the beginning of this video is me literally saying, like if you're trading 2025 as if it's 2024, 2023, 2022, you're already behind. Like you're already looking at the market wrong. There's volatility. We talk about volatility, right? There's volatility in these markets. So my tip for you is to actually keep your eye on price a little, even less than you trade it. If you're going to be a gold trader and you want to day trade it, right? And you want to get good at it, keep an eye on it, but don't trade it. Like don't act like when you're spending your time on your charts daily, don't just try to be so actively trading all the time. It's okay to watch price and learn price. learn like learn how price moves, because there's so much volatility right now that if you watch price for like 2 hours a day, you spend some time watching it, you'll learn a lot with how much volatility there is. Take some weeks if you want to get actually good at gold trading, and this might sound crazy. Take some weeks where you watch price, but you don't trade it, but you watch the market. Like you actually keep your eyes on the market as if you were going to look for trade setups, but you're not trading it. But you're still watching the candles. You're watching the candles. You're not entering. You'll see sometimes why you need more patience, because you might see some times where you would enter something but then you didn't because you're just watching. That'll build self-awareness. If you want it, like those are the good weeks. Silver, nice. You want to join the VIP group for signals? Join the inner circle. Join the inner circle. People ask me if there's a monthly fee for the inner circle. This inner circle technically is cheap for lifetime access. Join the inner circle if you want all my signals. I'm not always going to be sending signals in this chat. I don't know. This week I might just only be sending it to the inner circle because I just started the week off like that. So and I might just keep it at like that for this week. Join the inner circle. Lifetime access, one-time payment. It's an investment. Don't look at it as don't look at it as spending the money that it is. It's an investment for life. It's a lifetime investment. If you're interested in joining my inner circle, it's a lifetime investment. It's a one-time payment. You'll make that lifetime investment back probably within a month or two of being inside the inner circle. You'll make that money back. Like most people. And right now we have over 600, almost 700 members inside the inner circle. Most people have literally made their lifetime membership back more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. Sometimes some people more than 10, 20 times. Probably a lot of those people can testify in the chat right now. Honestly, there's probably people in the chat right now that could literally testify to. I have people that join and in 2 days they'll make their lifetime membership. I have people that join and in literally 24 to 48 hours they'll make their lifetime membership back. Especially if you're already a trader. Might be different if you're starting from scratch as a trader, but even if you're starting from scratch, you can copy my signals. It's facts over fiction. It's facts. There's people in the chat that can testify. They're in there. I know they're in there. Maybe we're watching. We got 45.75 here. Almost came to that. I think we'll keep an eye on that area. Maybe 45.75, 45.80. 45.70 at the max. So I think I'm gonna keep an eye on that whole area tonight for like if I'm looking for that first setup. It's like, okay, maybe there's a first setup I can catch tonight. That's how I like to look at the market. Try to teach you guys that because it's like I might send a setup in London. Let's say when it comes to signals, like whether you're in the inner circle, some of you guys in the public Telegram got a little bit of a taste of how I send some signals. You might see me send a signal at nighttime, and then you might see me send a signal in the morning, or something like that. It's happened a lot, and that could be win or lose. Like I might send a setup in London session and it loses, but we find a setup later on, 4 hours later, right? So it's like I focus on the setups. Like, okay, this is one setup that I see. Maybe that holds. Maybe it doesn't. The next setup would be way lower, like coming down below that zone. Again, I would say like 45.50, maybe 45.40 area, like back at that resistance down there. Maybe we're monitoring the market. So in trading, slow is fast. This is one thing I'll teach you guys. Slow is fast in trading. And good trading is boring. If you guys go watch the video I posted yesterday, I think there's a part in there. I posted a new video yesterday, and it's the first video where it's just me talking to the camera. There's no editing, no stuff. It's just me talking to the camera. And in that video, I say, I think I talk a bit about it, but I don't say it exactly like this, but I say like something like this. How trading can be boring, and sometimes it feels like you're doing nothing, right? Where like, okay, you go to the charts, you don't see anything, you don't see any trades, nothing's happening, you don't feel active. Like trading's not supposed to feel like an active job that you're always on. It's not supposed to be active all the time, right? It can actually be very boring, slow, patience, discipline, tied together. And when you're bored, that's when boredom comes in. Like boredom, when you're bored, when you're a bored trader, that's when you might start over trading. That's why you might start taking random trades that aren't actually like setups, where there's no setups there. And you can win too doing that. You could lose, right? But even if you win, and you just keep trading like that, it's not a good habit. So boredom, like being bored. Sometimes we get on and it's like, some streams we get on and it's like, yo, there's this right now. And some streams we get on, it's like, okay, we just gotta kind of cherry pick the market. Like, that's why I have pretty good signals, because I'm pretty good at cherry picking the market and just showing up consistently at different times. I'm good at kind of spreading myself out at different areas of the day. Right, I'm good at doing that efficiently. I'm good at spreading myself out, so I'm able to see more things. It's not like I'm just going to one time and okay, that's what's there. I'm able to see more structures, more candles closed, maybe more patterns, more technical analysis and stuff like that, more price action. So I'm good at spreading myself out. Allows me to see more potential setups. So showing up kind of consistently as well. And then one, like just cherry picking setups. Like if I see something I kind of like, it's like, all right, I'll just jump into it. I like to watch it, maybe cherry pick it a bit. Anyone who follows my signals can see that too. Like there's mornings where I see the chat is like, what's going on with the market, what are we doing, are we buying, are we selling, are we buying? And then like hours later I'll send a trade. Silver, kind of the same thing as gold. People ask about silver, like it's testing this area. Silver is really broken this resistance here too. Silver's like way above here, 80s. What is that at? Just below 85. $80 here. Like I said, I literally said we were gonna hold the low 70s. I told you guys. I said it so many times. I'm like, yo, this looks like I could do this. Silver. Damn, nice. Chart looks pretty clean on silver. Like it has two zones too. See, silver has like one zone and another, I would say. Like there's one down here on silver. Silver looks a bit more clean right now. Like not as like choppy as gold. Silver, you could see silver's probably on the way to like $100 maybe. Silver might be on the way to like 100. Knowing that, silver's on the way to 90 then. Silver's on the way to $90 from the looks of it. This thing's trending. Look at, we're above the resistance. What time is it? We're gonna go live and I'm gonna wrap it up soon in like 5 minutes, guys. If you're inside the inner circle, we're gonna be live in 30 minutes. Well, 35 minutes to be exact. If you guys are in the inner circle, I'm gonna drop the link in Discord. We're gonna be live at 8:30. That's in 35 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this session up in like 5 minutes here. Trust. Nice. So y'all, if you're in the inner circle, we are gonna go live soon. You can, yeah, literally 35 minutes. We're starting session in 35 minutes. The market repeats itself 4 times. My account bill pays as if it's. Let's go. Oh wow, 100%. That's. Oh, big trade. Oh, nice. That's what it's all about. Breakthroughs. That's what it's all about. This guy went from $50 to $800. That's crazy. What you guys say in the chat? Someone just DM me on Instagram, like, do you have anything cheaper? And I'm like, man, do you know how much I spent on Forex trading education in my life? $30,000-$40,000. I've spent money on, we've all spent money on learning shit too, right? Like, knowledge is free. Like, there's someone asked me, like, can I just, someone DM me today, like, is there any way I could learn from you for free, like, with your sig? And I'm like, dude, just plug into the YouTube and stuff. And like, someone was like, I don't want to spend money on like a course or this. And I'm like, well, like, it's one way or the other if you want proximity. Because there's people who are becoming better traders in the inner circle. So a lot of people are helping each other out. With that being said, I'm already a good trader, established myself. I'm helping people establish the right mindset. These are the types of results I look for. For example, in a day, like, I'm not really looking to make 1-2%. I'm trying to do 100%. Like, it might sound crazy. I'm not trying to guarantee that for myself. I just go in with the risk. I just go in with the setup. If the setup's there, I trade it. Depending on how I'm feeling at the time. Maybe I'll risk more, risk less, around a range of risk. But I'll do 200% in a day, 100% in a day. I'm pretty consistent with it. That's the thing. Like, I'll have big weeks percentage-wise. But then, like, so from here, it's like, this is what I did so far. Now I have a lot of cushion. Like, I have cushion on this account. I'm not going to go crazy. But it's one setup at a time. I see... Realistically, what I'm showing you right here is efficiency. Like, once you actually get good at trading and you trust your abilities, you don't need days to make a week salary. Like, this is a week salary for me typically. This is what I'll average on a week. $5,000 to $10,000 every week. That's like average now, but I made this today. You know, I'll have days where I make 10K, 5K, whatever. If my goal is to make 5,000 a week, honestly, at my level with experience, skill, I could do it in one day, and that could be my week. Like, I don't look to duplicate days. If I get the result, I try to keep it. So, like, good traders are good at like making the most out of 1-2 days, a couple days maybe. I've noticed, like, you might look at trading, like, if you have a job, you go to work every day, you trade your job 9 to 5, you clock in, you clock out every single day, and you work. Trading doesn't have to be like that, like working every day to make the money. Like, if you're efficient, you've practiced enough, right? You trust your skills, and you scale up, like you scale up with your numbers too. Like, I could do this. I do this consistently. I show this. I can do this every week pretty much. With more in the account, like 1,500 is usually like the lowest I go. If I deposit for the week, $1,500, 1,700, 2,000, maybe 3, 4, 5,000. I'll put in an account. More or less some weeks. Me, like, it might come off as like high risk, aggressive, but I trust my skills. Like, I've practiced this for over 10 years. I've done this for over 10 years, right? So I'm good at getting the most out of 1-2 days and saying that's my week. Like, a good trader is good at making, like, I can make what I used to make in a month in a good week, or, you know. I'm not trying to always make profit every day. If I can have 1-2 very effective days, that's where it comes down to, like, I think practicing too, guys. Like, consistency, practicing, trusting your abilities. Like, if I can consistently do this, right? It's just scaling up. Like, I do this with different account sizes. It's just scaling up then from here, like, right, more or less, Let's see where I can take this. We'll see where this is at. We'll see where this is at in 24 hours. We'll see where this is at in 24 hours. Maybe there's a trade. I don't know. I'm going to monitor gold. This is what I'm going to monitor tonight. We might come down. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I don't know when, but I might drop a signal tonight. That's the thing. I don't like time when I'm going to drop the signals. Just maybe try to turn notifications on. Usually I'm scanning the market like late Tokyo session. I'm usually scanning the market London session. And then going into like early New York session. I'm usually scanning the market around like, again, Tokyo, London, New York. I don't know if you're effective at trading, like you don't, it's not always about more trades, it's just the setup and being efficient, trusting your skills. I think some of the most profitable traders aren't like trading every day. They're making the most of the setup that's in front of them with the risk for the time that they're doing it. We got this. Yeah, see, someone said I made my lifetime membership in 2 months of being in the inner circle. That's on average. I've seen that, but 2 months. But I've seen people do it in 48 hours. I've seen people do it in 5 days. I've seen people do it in 1 day. I've seen people do it in one trade. It's crazy. Yeah, we're gonna wait. See, I wouldn't chase. We don't chase those pumps. We're gonna wait. Maybe there's a signal later tonight, but I'm gonna keep an eye on maybe that low. I'm still bullish on gold, looking for buy setups. You know that. Like, still gonna be looking for buy setups this week. I'll let you guys know if I see any. If I pop on randomly, if I pop on randomly later, it's because I see a trade setup or something to talk about. But is gold gonna go to $5,000? Maybe. Maybe we do. January's already made a new all-time high. I think the rest of this week will go up, just like last week. Like last week went up the entire week, but there was a big pullback. So last week started off super bullish, and it went up all the way until like Tuesday, and then it did have a big pullback and still ended up going up. So I think like I go trade similar to like last week then. Last week went up a lot. The first like 2 days of the market, then it dropped a lot. And then after that went up. So it's like, yeah, we could get something like last week where we corrected down. You can see there was a big correction last week. That could possibly happen. Which pretty much, like, if it does correct like it did there, it takes us back to like down here, right? Pretty much, if we get like a correction like we did last week, like see this correction the market did last week, that would literally take us back down to like previous all-time high over here, this area. Possibility that happens to be like, right? That there's a possibility with that being said. And maybe it's like last week, buys in New York. Remember one of the things I said on this session? We're gonna wrap it up here for the night in like 2 minutes, guys. I'm gonna get off now, but remember what I said, New York session last week. Remember one of the things I showed you guys about New York last week, how it was bullish pretty much every day. You could watch this area, you can monitor this area on gold. You know, we have 45.75 here. There is this low here. You could keep an eye on this and see if it holds. I'm gonna go live in the inner circle in 25 minutes. If you're inside the inner circle, I'll be live over there in 25 minutes. But you could possibly keep an eye on that low, like this area. If not, guys, it's like we're just waiting for that next zone then. Looking for the next good buy setup. We're chasing buys until it's like, all right. We're looking for buys until this thing tells us like not to, until it does one of these. There's a low to the left there. Does that hold? I could maybe see that holding if this is just like a small correction to take us up one more time. Small correction to take us up one more time before this thing ends up dropping. Because it could go up and still end up doing that drop back that I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the only area that looks clear. Like we're all-time highs pretty much, so we have to break it down to like a 1 hour and use what we have here, like this structure, or a 2 hour here. You can see. So yeah, maybe that low holds, guys. Maybe the low holds, possibility. It did kind of wick to it. There is a possibility that low holds and gold tries to push up more. Continuation type of setup. We are looking for continuations overall. That could be retracements, pullbacks, right? Those buy the dips. Like, we're looking for continuation types of setups. But I'm going to wrap it up, guys. If you're inside the inner circle, I'll be live literally in like 25 minutes at 8:30 p.m. So hop on over there if you guys are in the inner circle. Here, there you go. Someone send your link. Someone send your inner circle link, yo. Get on it. Someone send your link, yo. If you're in the inner circle and you invite someone, you actually get paid. Actually, if you're in the inner circle and you invite someone, you get paid. Is it going to hold? Possibly. Like, that's all I see. Like, that's all I see tonight. That's all that makes sense. Possibly. I dropped the link in the chat. That's the link. Might hold. Might hold. If it does, it's kind of accumulating here. Yeah, like it is kind of accumulating, going sideways. If this breaks up, then it's like, okay, it's probably going to pull back and go up more. I mean, it still hasn't confirmed itself fully. It's showing signs. Like it looks like it's accumulating. Like it just did this spike up and a down candle and then it broke up. So it does look like it's making accumulation here. Like it wants to push up. Yeah, it does look like an accumulation. I think we're going to reverse. I'm going to try to get a signal out tonight. I missed one last night. But yo, I'm out. We'll be live in 20 minutes, yo. In the inner circle. If you're in the inner circle, I'm going to go live over there in 20 minutes. Gotta wrap it up for a couple minutes here. I'll see everybody there.